Alright guys, welcome back to the Truck Insurance channel. This is Daniel, and I'm going to go over the Motor Carrier Authority application for semi-trucks doing general freight. Alright, so new applicants, you're starting your new trucking company, you want to get your DOT and MC number, and you're going to run a semi-truck hauling general freight, not like auto haulers or flatbeds or anything other like the standard typical general freight with a 53-foot dry van. So here we go. New applicant, not a robot. And before we get too into this, just real quick, make sure you use some notes when you go through this. Like write down all your answers, passwords, all that good stuff. There's a lot that you might need later on, so don't do this without taking notes. It shouldn't cost you more than $300, or you've probably done something wrong. Make sure you've incorporated already. Don't do this until you've incorporated. If you're going to incorporate, this isn't legal or financial advice, but most everybody does an LLC, and so that's the typical setup. So if you're doing that, get your EIN number. Make sure you have an email and a phone number that you can like monitor, not something you primarily use all the time. I've got links below, one to get straight to this unified registration system, because it can be a little tricky to get to. If you just straight up Google it, there's probably like 10 different service companies trying to make you pay them to do it for you, which, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, use one of the service companies. But otherwise, you can just follow along with this video and you'll get right through it, and make sure that you can get decent insurance quotes, not get like delayed for clicking on the wrong things, all that good stuff. That's what I'm here to do for you. So phone number and email though, like you want a phone number where you can like just monitor it, right? Send everybody straight to voicemail. You don't want your phone's going to blow up after this. You're going to get a million phone calls, emails, text messages, everything. Extremely aggressive marketing as soon as you apply for this MC and DOT number. So same with the email. And if you want to look professional, I've got a link below for getting like an email with a custom domain. So like if you're if it's Johnson Trucking LLC and you want to be Dave at johnsontrucking.com, you can do that instead of whatever at Gmail. It just looks better. The other thing is the address, the physical address and mailing address. Do not use a virtual address, okay? Don't do it. If you want to get a virtual address to try and build your business credit, sure. I don't care. Just don't use that virtual address anywhere near your authority or your insurance applications and quotes, okay? It's a nightmare. Just don't do virtual addresses, okay? Make sure it's an address you can actually use. Make sure it's an address where you can actually park a truck, because underwriters will look at that. And if you haven't figured it out already, like all of my advice is from the perspective of me being an insurance agent and trying to make your and my life easier when it comes to getting insurance, okay? Which is kind of an important thing with this whole trucking deal. All right, so anyways, got the address info, all that. All right, that's a couple things there. Links below for, also if you want to incorporate a business, you're not exactly sure how, LegalZoom's down below. All right, boom. So next up, whatever system you're on, I use Apple products for everything, and my Apple Notes are on all my devices. Like my brain is, in my Apple Notes. Everything is always in there. All right. Make sure you have something to save all your passwords, answers, because you don't want to be stuck. All right. Like if you can't sign into your, Netflix account because you forgot your password, boo-hoo, you can't watch a TV show. But when you can't get into something for business that makes you money, that sucks. So make sure you use notes. All right. All right. Now let's get through this application real quick. And again, semi-trucks, general freight, new venture, trying to get started. Here we go. All right. And, I'm not going to read all this for you, but feel free to make sure you understand what's going on here and you have an idea of everything that you are signing up for. Information collection notice. Again, like I said earlier about getting the phone number and email that you can monitor and like kind of have control of and be able to avoid a little bit, make sure you have that, because your information, everything you put in here is about to be public data. All right, applicant ID. We are going to take and copy this. We put in our little note over here. All right, our password. Don't use that. All right, our security questions. And write down like each question and what your answer is and how you spell it, how you capitalize it, all right? Like all this matters and you might need it later, so don't be without it. All right, application contact. You are going to probably repeat a lot of the same info in here. There's a million different ways this can be done, and there's service companies that can do this for you. There's people you could appoint for certain things. If you're going to be in charge and handle everything yourself, you're probably going to put your information down multiple times. All right, so just keep that in mind. Don't get confused or lost because you're typing in the same thing repeatedly. All right, application contact type. All right, applicant representative, company contact. If you're doing this for yourself, you're company contact. First name, John. Middle name, we don't know, Smith. Okay, application contact title, owner. Sure. Okay, address. And make sure this address is like an address that you can park the truck, get the mail. Maybe you have some history there. If we looked up like a credit profile on you, this address would show up. All right, because these are things that are going to matter for a lot of other things down the road. Most importantly, your insurance. Okay, telephone number, fax number, cell phone number, application contact, email address. Okay, so we're going to do United States. Okay. Fax number, United States. Right. And if your cell phone is the same as your telephone number, that's fine. Like for me, my business, it's all the same. You can text, call, fax, everything to the same. I use RingCentral for my insurance agency. All right, so then like admin at trucking2021.com. Admin at trucking2021.com. Okay. Application contact preferred contact method. We want to be contacted via email. All right. Or you could do both. You're going to get a lot of mail and you're going to throw away a lot of mail. Make sure that email address you put right here is one that you can monitor and you keep up with. Okay. All right, cool. Next. All right, perfect. FMCSA needs to capture the business details regarding the applicant. All right. Don't have it done in Bradstreet right now. If you have it, go ahead, put it in. If not, that's okay. Legal business name. Trucking 2021 LLC. No DBA. If you don't have a DBA, don't put one in here. Don't put something in here just to fill the box. All right. Like if you had an existing business, right, and you want to do a DBA off of that, I don't know why you would do that. But I guess some people will. You would put the DBA in here. But otherwise, if you're just doing an LLC, don't put anything in here. And where we just were on, hold on, let's go back a page. This legal business name, this should match exactly to your filing when you formed this LLC, okay? If you don't capitalize, you don't properly punctuate, which I wouldn't do any punctuations in your business name, just keep it simple. The more you keep it simple, the better. Is the applicant's principal place of business address the same as the application contact's address? So application contact, let's say yes. And like just for purposes of getting started, right? Like if you can park the truck at your house that you currently live at, and where you currently live is the address on your driver's license, let's just make it simple and keep that together. Like if you're going to go park your truck somewhere else, for whatever reason, that's okay. But like, let's just get started in the most simple, easy to go about way. All right, so let's do this. If it is somewhere else, then you can do no, and we'll work that out. But for all purposes of getting through this application and like getting your authority active, getting insurance, and not having a bunch of issues and delays, let's just keep everything simple, guys. Mailing address, same as principal place of business. If you need to use a different mailing address and it's in a different state, you might find some issues with your insurance. And just for reference, if anyone is watching this and thinking, I live in one state, I want to incorporate in another, my drivers are going to live in 10 other different states, and filling out this authority application for some other random state, and I'm going to get insurance in that random state because I think it's cheaper, it's not going to work out for you. Everything should match. Where you live, your primary residence, where you're licensed, the state you're licensed in, the state you incorporate in, the state you apply for authority in, and the state you get insurance in should all be the same state. Like everything should match. All right, principal place of business telephone number. All right, just like the contact, you're the contact, you're also Principal place of business. So we're going to put all this in just as you did again. And keep up with this. If anything is different, like if you have a contact, separate contact, you want to keep up with this, you know, make sure you understand which one's which. Oops. There we go. Next. EIN. If you're doing a sole proprietorship, you can put in your SSN, your social. But if you did an LLC, you should be putting in your EIN number, right? Is applicant a unit of government? No. Limited liability company. Let's say I'm in North Carolina, since all my other addresses are North Carolina. Next. Owned, controlled by citizen of the United States. If that's not it, call the FMCSA if you're not a U.S. citizen. Names and titles of sole proprietors, sole proprietor, partners, or others. Company contact number 1, if that's you. All right, let's see here. So again, this was John Smith, title, owner, email, said admin at trucking2021.com, United States. Right, let's keep going. Business description, company, contact, address. Just like everything else, just keep it all the same. Unless you have some specific reason to do it otherwise, keep it all the same. Make sure it's a verifiable address. All right, so a little review on business description. Next. All right, operation classification. Make sure you're following along closely on this, because we're going to be a motor carrier of property. Some people get confused about motor carrier of household goods. This is people that move like someone's stuff from one house to another, okay? We don't want that, right? If you want to do that, good luck. Getting cargo on this kind of stinks. It's expensive. All right, intermodal equipment provider. If you want to do this down the road, great, but we're not going to do that right now because this video is not for that. I'll do another video for intermodal hauling, okay? But for right now, we're not intermodal equipment providers. Will the applicant transport property? Yes, general freight is property. All right, we're going to go load stuff off the load boards in our trucks, or have people load it into our trucks. We're going to haul it from A to B, or from A to B to C, and get paid. We're going to cross state lines. Will the applicant receive compensation for the business of transporting the property belonging to others? Yes, we are for hire. General freight. Interstate. All right. What type of property will the applicant transport? Hazardous materials? Nope. Nope. Exempt commodities? Nope. Other non-hazardous freight? Yes. This is what we're doing. This is how we get to general freight, and this is how we avoid never getting insurance quotes as a new venture. Okay. You could get a quote with this, but you're probably like, stay away from these three. Just other non-hazardous freight. All right. We want to be regular general freight, common motor carriers that do interstate hauling for hire. All right. Will the applicant transport non-hazardous materials across state lines, otherwise known as interstate commerce? Yes. If we were staying inside our little state, we'd be intra-state, not interstate. Interstate means I'm crossing state lines. Two words that sound the same have opposite meanings. Will the applicant transport their own property? No. No. We're not doing that. Like if you manufactured something and hauled it yourself across state lines, like that would be hauling your own property. Just because your book bag or some of your own stuff is in the cab of the truck with you, you're not hauling your own property. Will the applicant transport any passengers? Absolutely not. Not for hire. If you've got someone with you in the cab, spouse, whatever, somebody hitching a ride, like, let's just leave that alone for right now. You're not doing that for hire. Will the applicant provide property or household goods broker services? If you want to do brokerage down the road, that's fine. We're not doing it right now. Okay? No type of broker services, so no. Not right now. If you want to do it later, that's fine, but we're not applying to be brokers and motor carriers at the same time. Will the applicant provide freight forwarder services? Again, no. We're only going to apply as a motor carrier right now. Trying to do general freight. Will the applicant operate a cargo tank facility? No. Will the applicant operate as a driveway? No. Towaway? No. All right, general freight. And I know a lot of you guys want to click other stuff in here because you think you might like haul whatever. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. All right, general freight. That's all we're going to leave. And it's already clicked for you. You don't have anything else to click on here. Next. Don't even look at the other stuff. Leave it alone. All right, good. Classification's done. And our application is going very well so far. We have no hiccups. We're not going to get stuck with anything. All right, please provide the number of non-commercial motor vehicles the applicant plans to operate. 0. We will not be operating any non-commercial motor vehicles because this is for semis. All right, straight trucks. We're going to put some zeros in here. All right, so 0, 0, whoops. 0, 0, 0. Truck, tractor. All right. So will you own, term lease, trip lease, towaway, driveway? So this is 0. This is 0. Term. If you have like a 1 to however many year term lease, you could put that here for 1. If you own the truck or have it financed, there's your 1. Okay. So there's 0. Trailer. Do you own or lease any trailers? If you plan on owning one, put it in there. If you're going to get a lease on a trailer, put it there. Trip leased. That's not really going to be like trailer interchanged. So let's just do like you're going to own one. Okay, you could put zeros across here if you're not sure. We can update it later. That's not going to hurt anything. Just leave these 2 0 no matter what for right now. Trailer chassis only. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right, there we go. So we have 1 owned truck and 1 owned trailer. Or if you don't have any trailer or you're not sure how you're going to do your trailer situation, put zeros across the board, okay? Next. All right, please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles the applicant will operate in Canada or Mexico. Starting off, none. If you want to do that stuff later on, we'll figure it out, but don't do it for now. Unless you have like some specific reason, then this video is not for you. Please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles that will operate solely in interstate commerce. 0. We're going to be motor carriers, okay? Not just commercial motor vehicle hauling interstate. All right, if you put a 1 in here, you're messing up. Put 0. Unless you, like this video isn't for you if you need a 1 in here. Please provide the number of commercial motor vehicles the applicant will operate solely in intrastate commerce. Did I just mess this up previous? Oh, I just messed up, sorry. 1 here, okay, interstate. See, they make the word too close to the other meaning. All right, so interstate. We will operate solely in interstate commerce. 0 for intrastate. We're not staying inside the state only. We will have 1 truck outside of the state, and that means, you know, like you could haul inside the state and outside of the state if you have 1 for interstate. Still perfectly fine. All right, vehicle summary. Next. Drivers. All right. Okay, so what is the number of drivers who will operate as interstate within a 100 air mile radius? If you're like near a state line and you're getting your motor carrier authority, you've like got a contract set up, you know you're not going outside 100 air mile radius, you could put a 1 here. But for most everybody that's going to haul off load boards, just put your 1 here. And if you're going to add drivers and all that down the road, that's fine. Add drivers, add trucks, whatever. Just let's start with what you're actually starting with, okay? If you're starting with 1 driver and 1 truck, we're going to do that here. We can update all this later. All right, so this is the common setup though. And this is for interstate, beyond 100 air mile radius, 1. And within, 0. All right, solely as interstate, 0. And 0. We don't need anything in here. What are the number of drivers with a commercial driver's license? 1. What are the number of drivers who operate in Canada or Mexico? 0 and 0. Just like we answered for the vehicle section, we're on the driver section again. 0. If you want to do that later on, we'll figure it out later on. We're not messing with that right now. Keeping everything kind of simple. Financial responsibility. All right. In the operation classification section of this application, you specify the entity will be transporting property interstate and for compensation. Will any of this property get transported in vehicles greater than 10,001 pounds? Yes, semis like start at 33,000, okay? All right. Next. Affiliation with others. Does the applicant currently have or has had within the last 3 years of the date of this filing or filing this application relationships involving common stock, common ownership, common management, common control, or familial relationships with any other person or applicant for registration? All right, so if you have had any ownership, you've been in charge of, you've been married into any other trucking company, you might run into some issues if that's the case in the last 3 years. So let's just say you're not trying to start up another authority, and we're going to move forward. So we're going to say no to this. Perfect. Next. Certification statement. I, John Smith. No suffix. E-signature. Application password. Remember how I said save that password from the beginning? You already need it again. Hope you wrote it down. Title. Owner. Today's date. Sweet. Compliance certification. Let's get through this next. You do certify. Read that. You certify again. Read that. Does the applicant certify it is not currently disqualified from operating commercial motor vehicles? Continue. Certify. Not prohibited from filing this application. Certify. Next. Applicant's registration is currently revoked. Does the applicant certify the deficiency cited? Next. Electronic signature. Again, with that password. Oops. Good deal. Continue. It's a long one, guys. We're almost done. Looks like what we just did, but it's just more certifying. Oops. Register for company official portal account. Okay, so like at the beginning we had the applicant ID and password. We're now going to register for your portal account, which is a separate thing. There's like unified registration system where we're applying for authority, and then we have a portal to access our FMCSA account. That's next. So sometimes people get hung up on this. Should the company official be assigned to the company contact John Smith? Yes. Next. User ID. All right, so like I have this little user ID here, but that's not what I'm about to put in here. Okay, I need to create a new one. Please enter non-government email ID as user ID. Enter non-government email ID. So we're going to put in our email. Admin at trucking 2021 .com. And then we're going to create, you can use the same password that you did to do this application, I believe. No, this one's long. This one's really long. So yeah, follow these guidelines over here. Okay. Oops, didn't make it. Maybe I did. Anyways. Awesome. Did I get that right? Lowercase number, special character to be chosen from among. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, I think we're good. Admin. Method of contact. Keep the email. You can do both. You can do mail, whatever you want, but I prefer email. Keep it simple. We're missing something here. Let's do trucking 2021. Why is this not working? Please enter non-government email ID as user ID. That's fine. There we go. All right, next. Would you like to use the same security questions? Yes. Next. Portal rules of behavior. Next. All right. Yes, I acknowledge. Next. Next. Continue. We're so close to being done with this. All right, boom. Next is paying this $300 fee. Applicant will operate as for hire property carrier general freight. That's exactly what we want to see, and this should not be more than $300. Congrats, we made it to the end. Continue on to make your payment. Make sure you saved all those passwords, security questions, all that good stuff. And you'll get your DOT number, and then normally you get your MC number like the next business day. Once you have that, you can go get some accurate insurance quotes. Links for that below if you're in a state that I can help you out with for insurance. There's plenty of other good little links in there for other things you're going to need. Next step, insurance quote, file your BOC3, UCR. If you don't have your DOT medical card already, go get the physical exam for that. Link below. If you have any questions, need help with anything, feel free to email me or schedule a call. And happy to help you guys out. If you have any other questions, you can put them in the comments below as well. And I'll try and get back to those as fast as possible. But thanks for watching, and see you next video.